I'm told you I'm still drinking this shit, bro. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel today. My name is Sus and welcome back to another YouTube video. Hi. I'm fucking exhausted, guys. I'm exhausted. That's all I gotta really say. Yesterday, I'm off today, but I had to clean the house, basically. I cleaned the whole house. It took a few hours doing that today. Yesterday, I did over a 13-hour shift. Whoa. Like, I have the proof right in the pudding. I'm not lying about that shit. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm on my womanly duty for the month too. So I don't know why I did that. And I'm so fucking tired. I am so fucking tired. So because of that, I'm kind of loose lips right now. And I want to talk about, because I never thought I had to make a video about this, especially people who have watched One Piece. I never knew I had to even brought this up. But there's a whole debate right now because a particular content creator, I'm not gonna drop names, did something, and I'm just gonna talk about it because this is just fucking ridiculous. This video is not gonna pop up anywhere anyway, so it's gonna be for like 3 people that watch this video. But I never thought I had to make a video addressing this fucking issue. So let's get into it today. If you guys already know though, my name is Sus. I talk about anime related things, anime content, Vocaloid, J-pop, all that shit. I am an anime channel through and through. Again, all the things I say and stuff it's mostly my opinion about a lot of issues. I'm not a base factual channel. If I were to research something, it's very quick and simple. Other than that, like if it's like, oh, intro to this, I will get into it more in the research process. I'm tired, guys. As you can see, I'm about to fucking die. But a lot of my videos are anime based. This is just a weeb channel, and that's what I wanted to say here. I actually took the time today. The reason why I said that, I took the time today to actually research and prove points and shit like that, because I don't want to just say things out my ass, because I feel like this video needs to be properly talked about and researched, if anything. But yeah, if you guys already know, I already said it. My name's Sus. I talk about anime. That's the whole channel, that's the whole niche. I never try to go astray from anything other than like maybe J-pop singers, but again, I try to categorize that as part of the channel because it's Japanese. I, again, mentioned, because I never mentioned research in any of my videos, I don't typically research a lot of the things unless it's like intro to like yaoi or intro to this or intro to that. Like unless it's something like that, I don't really research. A lot of the things I say is like right out my ass. So like if it was like an anime review, I'd be like, oh, it came out this time, I watched it at this time, this is what happens, and this is my opinion. That's a lot of my opinion videos. Like that's really it. But this one has been circulating and it came out as of last week. It's just mind-boggling why the fuck this is even an issue. A particular content creator that they're very big, I'm not gonna drop names, but they were in a podcast, and one of their friends, there's like a group of people that was with them, said that One Piece is a political anime, and this content creator and these other couple people that were there were saying, oh, you are so, like, what you even talking about? Like, he was in the wrong for bringing that up. And I'm like over here thinking, in what world is One Piece not political? And that's really gonna be the whole thing of the video, is that me addressing that One Piece is a political anime and why it is, what's the points and all that shit, because this, I thought we established from day one that this is a not political anime, but whoever watched this and whoever's caught up or whoever's in any point of One Piece, because even up to the 2nd fucking episode, you can see that it's political. Like any point of fucking One Piece, everyone can see that it's a political anime from a far get-go. I know when people onlookers were to look at the anime, people be like, it's about pirates. Like that's a different issue. Like, oh, it's about finding a treasure. But when you actually fucking watch the anime, because it's over 1,000 episodes of a bunch of political shits that happens throughout the anime, I thought we can collectively, as like a One Piece fandom, can say it's political anime. But that's just mind-boggling to me. And we're gonna get right into the video today. I'm sorry if my tone and my demeanor energy is kind of off again, because I know I talk more out my ass. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm on my womanly duty shits, and I am on the fucking mindset that I do not give a fuck. So my mouth is gonna be loose as hell when I address some of the issues, because I thought this is just, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me, at least for me, mind-boggling to me that I had to even talk about this video. Because again, if you were to watch any point at One Piece, like let's say you stopped at 100, you can clearly see that it is political, and not in the sense of like modern day political, like Democrats, Republicans. I'm not talking about those politics. I'm talking about the ones in One Piece. I'm still shocked that someone as big and they claim that they watch One Piece, because again, a lot of people has watched One Piece, even if they stopped it or they continue or they caught up like me, can even say that One Piece is not a political anime and then bash someone for saying, and like that's mind-boggling. Again, it's mind-boggling. So I'm gonna talk about why One Piece is political. If you don't see it, then I don't know what show you are watching, because a lot of people are like saying like, what the fuck is this guy on about? Did you really watch the One Piece, or did you read like a fucking Sparks Note like website thing about that? Because that doesn't make any sense. If you guys already know, One Piece is about Luffy and his gang and all that shit. If it's a long anime, I'm not gonna get undressed and talk about that shit. I did like a couple videos of One Piece back in the day, back a few 17 years ago. I talked about it, like if some people should watch One Piece. I was, again, before I watched One Piece, I was the biggest basher around my friend like circle, because I will always say like, oh, if I were to watch One Piece, that's gonna be like the last anime before I die. Like I would say shit like that, be like, oh, One Piece is just extremely long, I'm not even gonna touch it. I touched it due to a little bit of peer pressure, and also that I found out that my brother watched it in 3 weeks. I don't know how the fuck to this day he watched it. It took me 3 months. That's the fastest I'm going. But I can say that One Piece really did shock me, and I can say that it's probably, or is, my favorite anime of all time, just due to the fact that the many themes it has, and also like you never get bored with the cast. It's like Luffy is always, there's something charming about him. You never get bored of the main character like some other animes I've watched. I can say that their main character sucks. The cast is nice, and if it's like too much of like, let's say Zoro per se, they will switch it up. It's like very diverse. We always explore other themes, and then each arc is also very much different. It's just, I like shit like that. And from the get-go, from even episode 2 with fucking Luffy meeting up with Zoro and shit, we already saw politics being introduced. And when people say politics, like they think of like modern day USA politics. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Marines versus pirates. Even in the second episode where Luffy is meeting up with Zoro, trying to like recruit him for his crew, or force him, because he didn't really recruit him. He's like, you're part of my crew. We see a Marine corrupts and takes over a town due to his power, abusing his power, building a fucking statue in the middle of the town, and anyone that were to disrupt him or disrespect him or do anything in that sort will be publicly like humiliated, executed. That's abuse of power from the government. And we see Luffy overcoming and like taking over that shit and saying, nah, this is not it. Like that was not his intentions at first, but from the get-go we see shit like that, to the point that even the Marine's son that was just living in town, listening to his father power, was using that power as corruption. It's like, oh, my dad is this, so you guys had to listen to me. Very early on, from fucking 1,700 fucking episodes, we see that shit episode 2. And there's many instances like that. Like I even wrote down, I researched some things like, how is One Piece political? Like we can talk about these in like point by point if you guys need to, because it's again, I'm so mind fucked by the fact that this is even a discussion of like, how have you watched One Piece and still say that it's not political to some sense? The example I said, and the big fucking issue that the whole government system that it has in this fucking show is the government corruption. Half the time, half of these government Marines officials are corrupted as fuck. They always try to abuse their power. Yeah, not all of them. We got Garp over here just like there. We got Kobe. We got all the motherfuckers that they're not corrupted. Like they're not abusing their powers. But we got multiple type shit. Like we have a bunch of government corruption in this anime from the get-go. Episode 2, we get to see this shit. That's a good example. There's many other examples in that. And people not, it's what? Following the government's corruption, we get censorships and propaganda. So in the One Piece universe, a lot of the people have the perspective of pirates are evil because of the government. The Marines will all like advertise to the fucking T that pirates are corrupt, they're evil, they're like harmful, they need to get like reported, they have wanted signs for them because they're just such a big problem and they need to be addressed. Like, that's one way of propaganda, saying, hey, this is a dangerous individual. And then when you meet, because a lot of people I like in the show, like Dressrosa or like other places, that they will see Luffy's wanted side and he's like, oh shit, he got 3.3 billion berries on his name, and they see him, he's like, yo, he's a pretty chill guy and he helped me out because I gave him a sandwich. They be seeing like, oh shit, this is a dangerous individual, but when they get to meet like other people, it's like, oh shit, this is not how it is. Like, that's the sort of propaganda and the censorship. We get to see this later on, especially with the world's newspaper, that a lot of the thing is fabricated because of the six elders. A lot of the things that they said that it's okay, that they say it's okay, can be publicized. So like, they go for Morgan, which is like the big publication guy, whatever the fuck, the birdie book bitch, that they like, he would know the full truth. And then he will be like, yo, I'm gonna change this so everyone can see that this is a bad guy. Like, most of the time it's like that. Like, it's a lot of censorship, a lot of twisting, so like the Marines and the world government can look like the good guys and the pirates would look like the bad guys. Again with the pirates, it's always what they say what they are, changing the narrative with a lot of shit. Because there's a lot of time that Luffy and the gang will do something like nice, that they switch the whole narrative. Is like, oh, they attacked and now they declare war on the world government. It's like, that's not how it really gone. We're not going to talk about you kidnapping Frankie when he was not really legitimate a pirate yet, and trying to do all this and to follow up on censorship. We're not going to talk about the Century Void, the 100 years erased from history. We're not gonna talk about that because the world government, it had gotten so crazy that about 800 years ago, the world government literally erased the whole century from the history books, and now it's illegal. It is fucking illegal in the world of One Piece to even talk or mention of that, because one island where Nico Robin was from, you know that one? Yeah, they kind of like was trying to snooping around with that. And you know what the response the world government had? Because there was just snooping around. They don't even know the full truth of what the fuck was going on. They were just snooping, be like, okay, this is what we assumed happened. Like, we should talk about it because it's a risk from the history books. And naturally, people are gonna get curious. It's like, hey, why the fuck is the 100-year void? Like, why is no one talking about that? Like, we can't just erase 100 years of like human history and no one can fucking talk about it. You know what the world government response to that was? Let's burn down the whole fucking island with everyone in it. Is that sane? That's not sane. That's insane. Because the world government, that's the world government's logic to that shit. The world government, again, not everyone in the Marines are fucking evil, but a lot of them are very much corrupt. A lot of them will just do whatever needs to be done. And another thing that I see a lot of the people in the world government that they just overlook is slavery and discrimination. Especially when the human trafficking part from Sada Obi, in that arc before Luffy and the gang get split up and shit like that because they attacked the Celestial Dragon for being discriminatory, and over here buying people from the human trafficking law, and over here publicly riding their slaves on the town, and anyone that doesn't bow to them and disrespect them by not kissing their fucking toes will get executed. When Luffy said, nah, that's not how that shit works, and just punched him, and then everyone on the joint from like, they even got an admiral to fucking like, hey, you need to die because this is not how it goes, because that's how they said so. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about slavery, literal people in chains. We're gonna talk about Kuma's backstory shit. That people in chains because they're less than, whatever the fuck they said. We're not gonna talk about that. The human trafficking that literally we see in multiple episodes, by the way, in Sada Obi, that Luffy and the gang see people literally getting auctioned off because why not? And then the world government have knowledge of this because they see they had to protect the celestial dragons, by the way, and they see this shit happening. You know what they do? They fucking look the other way. Like, we're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. That's not politics. Like, that's not political. That's not political anyways. Oh, we're not even talking about recently we just learned about the Kuma situation, the Kuma backstory, that at one point during his slavery shit, everyone, like, they just gathered all the slaves and took them to a fucking island. And you know what the celestial dragons want to do for entertainment? Oh yeah, let's just hunt them down and slaughter them like the animals they are, because that's just fun for us. We're not gonna talk about that shit. And then the world government officials, admiral, everyone that was in the government that knew about this shit, they had to go to protect the fucking celestial dragons. I'm on the side of Luffy. Thank you for punching him back into the fucking manga, Luffy. And another thing that they do all the time in the world government and the Marines is that they like to, if a country is not in favor or they not kiss ass so much with the world government, well, let's say, for example, Wano. You know about that country, that they didn't want to have any affiliations with the world government. So you know what they did? They didn't care for it, especially when it was impoverished in Kaito. Like, you know, the Emperor of the Sea at the time decided to take it over and like make it to extremely poverty. It's only the capital type shit. And then everyone else had to literally eat drug fruit and are forced to smile all day because the world government didn't want to be affiliated with Wano because Wano wanted to be his own thing, or it doesn't want to acknowledge that Wano doesn't want to be following the corrupt laws of the world government. So let's just deprive our resources and let them fucking figure it out on their own, because they don't want to obey by us. They don't want to bow down to us. So we're just gonna walk the fuck away. But if we find out some shit and the pirates are going down, we can send one of our admirals, like we saw after Kaito and Luffy's fight. We can send one of the admiral school there, even though we're not allowed to go in there. You know what I mean? We can just send one of the admirals over there and like take care of business, because we can do whatever the fuck we want no matter what. So we don't want to help Wano because they don't want to follow us, but we can do whatever the fuck we can go in whatever the fuck we want, because why the fuck not? Like, there's so many instances like that One Piece is political. Like, those are very few, because there's a lot of other fucking arcs. Like, we could say Dressrosa. And speaking of Dressrosa, I wrote word by word what Doflamingo said during the Dressrosa arc that I think everyone should listen to, because that shit hit hard. And I want to talk, because this is a perfect summary of the politics in One Piece. And I'm gonna say, because I did wrote it down, because I don't want to miss a singular or say a singular word wrong, because I fucking love this quote with a passion. This is like the one quote that I always think about at the end of the fucking day sometimes, like, just because it's like so true. And we could like just change the two words, the pirates and the Marines part, and we could put anything else and it will make perfect sense. So I'm gonna say the quote right now. Pirates are evil, the Marines are righteous. These terms have always changed throughout the course of history. Kids who have never seen peace and kids who have never seen war has different values. Those who have stand on the top determine what's right and what's wrong. This very place is neutral ground. Justice will prevail, you say? But of course it will. Whoever wins this war becomes justice. I fucking love Doflamingo's quote on that, because that does summarize everything that One Piece is, because that is so fucking true. That people say pirates are evil, pirates are this, pirates are barbarians, pirates are that. The Marines are right, they always would be just. But then they would do shit like let Caesar experiment on little kids to see if they can become giants within the course of a few years, and then be oblivious to know that these experiments were happening even though they were being funded. But because Doflamingo was a warlord, and warlords under the government at the time were able to get away with their crimes because they just had to do what the government says here and there. And because they were aligned with the government just turned the other way and let Doflamingo, who had the warlord status, recruit Caesar to do these experiments on these kids. Kidnap them, by the way, but, just do the experiments. And technically it's under the government's law, so the government has no wrong because Doflamingo said it's okay. And he's a warlord. And he follows the government whenever he needs to be called, and that's about it. But the pirates are all wrong when they try to free these kids and let them go back to their house and try to get them back to normal because they can see that it's fucking wrong. Cool. And One Piece is not political. Did we watch the same fucking show? I don't know about you, but I think we watched 2 different shows if you keep saying that One Piece is not political. Because there's so many instances that One Piece have shown that it's political. It doesn't have to be like politics, like current politics, like as is this world, like modern day. Because again, it's a fictional fucking world, and a lot of the things that says in it only is gonna follow within that world. They're not gonna talk about other things like the U.S. government, for example, and their politics, because that's not gonna work. But it is showing the corruption of the government and how, not say Luffy and shit, but how people fall into being victims of the government and falls into corruption because they're the ones on top with the power. And then people that are under them stand basically no chance unless they oblige and follow what the government says. That's how it fucking works. How the fuck can you have watched One Piece and say, no, it's not political, I don't know what you're talking about, that's not One Piece? Did you watch the same fucking show I watched and millions have watched? Because even up to, like, let's say I'm not that far in, I'm only 50 episodes in, 100 episodes in. Okay, second episode, third episode, the corruption of that fucking town when Luffy was recruiting that bitch. Okay, that's one right there. That shit. Arlong, when he took over fucking Nami's town and is made everyone oblige and pay a certain sum just to be there, and whoever wasn't able to be there, like poor fuck, they get executed. That was in what, episode 30? Cool. That's 2. We got another one. Alabasta. Maybe Alabasta was around the hundreds or maybe close to 100. That's gonna be a third example. Crocodile similarities to Doflamingo. Crocodile, warlord. Warlords, if they oblige to the world government, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Crocodile literally ran this whole country under his nose and executed whoever the fuck didn't oblige to him, and there was like revolutions and fucking riots because of that fucking bitch. That's about 3 examples I can give within fucking 100 episodes on the top of my head, because there's probably more. And One Piece, that was just the surface that I just said, because we talking about other shits like Dressrosa, that's a big example. Wano. We can talk about Punk Hazard. We can talk about Sadio. We can talk about Marineford, bitch, because Marineford was another one that I do not want to talk about because Ace gets me sad. They're not political either. Take that with that. I want to say my piece. That's my little piece, and I'm gonna end the video right here because I feel like I will crash out again. I'm sorry for my looped lips and shit like that. But I was just a little annoyed. I was just a little bit mad when I heard about that. And now it's like a discussion, and a lot of people that I agree with said similar things. And a lot of people, and then I see some people defending it like, oh, it's true, it's not political. How the fuck is it not political? Again, if you don't watch One Piece, because I was the biggest One Piece hater back then. It's like, it's too long, I'm not gonna even touch an attempt. Now I've seen the light. I have touched. I am now a new person, and I have fucking caught up with One Piece. Actually, it's crazy to say that One Piece is political. Those examples, unless you want to like say, oh no, that's not how it is, then we watched the 2 different shows, because I don't know what that fucking was, but One Piece is that's fucking crazy, bro. That's fucking crazy. How can you say One Piece is not political? That's my thing. Okay, we're done with the video. I'm done talking about it. I was just saying my little piece. I just did my little research and I just said the examples. So there's probably way more that I missed, but I know those are the main points. And I'm like, bro, that's fucking wild that you can say that. But I said my little piece, and I'm gonna end the video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. If you watched to the end of this video or any part of the video, thank you thank you guys so fucking much. Again, I'm a little bit angry. I'm a little bit in a bad mood. I'm fucking tired due to the fact that I was working 13 hours yesterday plus. Like, I'm fucking tired. I'm on my womanly duties for the month. Like, I'm fucking done. And I was like, I have loose lips, so let's get a little bit sassy. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, let me just go and say this piece and stuff, and then go back to my usual self probably Wednesday, maybe. I was like, let me say my little piece and then dip. It's not, I just thought that was fucking wild, but I'm really tired, so I know I'm a little bit, my energy's down. I haven't ate shit. I haven't ate anything yet. I know I'm looking at a big back and I'm fat and shit, but I haven't ate anything as of Friday because, okay, hear me out. Saturday I didn't eat because if I were to work in the afternoons and stuff, like if I was closing, I don't eat when I get out. Like, that's just my thing. It's too late for me, and then if I go eat really late, that messes up my stomach really badly. And listen, I was gonna eat yesterday, but 13 hours, I literally saw the sun come up and then the sun come down. Like, I got home and I went straight to fucking bed. I slept for 11 hours last night. I was tired. I did not want to eat. And this morning I was cleaning. Like, I woke up straight to cleaning because the house was disgusting, because I have dogs and cats and a brother that doesn't know how to wipe his ass, and I had to clean because it was a lot. And I was like, okay, let me do my video, say my little piece, and now I have to probably eat something. It's late though. It's like 2 right now. It's 2 in the afternoon for me. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Please let me know down in the comments what you want me to talk about, anything, or want me to do anything. Like, let me know in the comments. I'm fine. I can do anything legally. But yeah, thank you guys if you watched the end of the video. Again, my name is Celis. I talk about anime related things, anime contacts. I post on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays most of the time, unless there's certain circumstance within one of those days that particular week. I know there's some Fridays that I don't post, or some Wednesdays, due to the fact that I either was dying or some shit. But most of the time, most of the days, I do post on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So yeah, I do that. And really, that's it. Thank you guys once again. My name is Celis, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.